Yes, so like definitely not taking the representation right now, but I'm still thinking on that like you might like all those demon villages as well as well as Natsu, Lucia and everyone maybe like only thing that would be shocked and like the only confused as to like how exactly that's going to destroy the moon basically I would be totally talking about like the moon temple like totally and fully destroying like the moon temple which precisely what Ashraf would be talking about is definitely my passenger emissions. Also, my passenger emissions are like the ultimate of definitely like fixed like the moon temple like considering the ultimate of precisely stored back the time all over Galuna Island. Maybe like Zalti, my passenger is Zalti instead of like just focusing on like the moon temple and like just changing the time of like the moon temple alone, like using this time mark instead of like just changing like the kind of like the moon temple that way, like fixing back like the moon temple to its like perfect state, like I'm preferring the ultimate of for some reason the might have like this mainly like pointed like used this like time map magic and pointed towards like the moon while and the ultimate pointed towards like the moon temple or like Zalti might have pointed towards like Galuna Island and maybe like the entire of like the Galuna Island, including like so that one act of Zalti might have only of like the entirety of like the Galuna Island, including like the moon temple to return back like all the objects in like the Galuna Island, including like the moon temple, like return back it to like normal state, and that might be how like the village of like the villages have returned back to their fixed up state. This definitely my positive intention the villages that had actually been destroyed, like turned back to like proper state. It's definitely my personal ambition. So definitely my personal ambition is that what Zalti might have done might have been precisely Zalti might have after like all of them had left Natsu and Through had left thinking that they had defeated the Dora. So totally forgetting precisely what Zalti might have done. Zalti's ultimate goal might have been definitely to like just get like the toughest task in front of Galti in the center sign might have just need to be for Galti to be able to like get rid of that ice block of like the ice shell magic like containing Fedora. So precisely like once like the ice shell ice block surrounding Bellora was like destroyed. Like at that point itself, like the remaining part might have been far too easy for Galti definitely was incredible. So like I was saying, once like Natsu and the Pro might have left the most important thing is that they had finally defeated and taken the life of Tejora. Like what might have happened would be like most likely though Tejora might have died like still those that are differing precisely Zati might have precisely used like the moon magic in like the moon temple. And my personal impression that I'm still thinking on those definitely that like the moon magic would be precisely having like the power to be able to like control precisely demons is definitely my personal theory impression. So like what precisely Zalti might have done would be like Zalti might have precisely like Deliora is also like a demon. Like Zalti might have changed like the time of like Deliora using like the moon magic. Like the moon magic would be precisely able to like change and control and forward or go backward like the time of like many demons. It's definitely working random. So like Zalti might have like changed reverse like the time of Deliora to like the state where it was like alive. That's definitely not looking to remedy. So like that may be precisely how daily or might have like currently like the person daily starting might have only around the time brought daily or back to life. But definitely my person to remedy. Using like the precise non magic is definitely my person to remedy. And this might be precisely also the reason for like basically the villagers like 3 years back when like Zalti and like Reta and all of them had basically showed up to Galuna Island. Basically, like the villages after like turning villages of Galuna Island like after turning into demons, like them desperately trying multiple times to like go out of like the village and trying to like investigate like the ruins, but then them straight away like miraculously like magically like returning back to like the village gate every time they try like we precisely Zalti secretly spying and secretly like using like the moon magic. Like Zalti might have totally made like the moon magic might be present within like the moon temple, and like Zalti might have succeeded in like taking like the moon magic and making it his own. Like while the moon magic might still remains in like the moon temple, like still Zalti might have also been able to like also make like a portion of like, the moon magic like his own as well. So and he that way like Zalti might be able to like use like the moon magic as his own magic as well, especially my position. So like the ultimate precisely use like stealthily use like the moon pointed like and uses might have used it like moon magic on the villages every time like the villagers might have stepped out to investigate the ruins and basically that way like Dante might have since like the villagers had turned into demon might have already turned into demon back then like Dante might when they had decided to just go investigate the ruins like Dante might have only used the moon magic to control all those demon villages and might have only changed like the sign and reversed it back to and that way brought back to like the point where like they were right in front of like the village before them setting out to investigate. It's definitely not this might have been like the precise reason for like the villages alone, like the demon villages alone of Galuna Island not being able to like make it to like the ruins while Natsu and Groot who had turned into demons were able to like make it to like the ruins and like the moon temple and everything. It's definitely my personal impression. Also my personal impression for like that I'm still thinking on those like for like the only for by Natsu and the others even after like having like the also like vegan rate as well as like Galte and all of them like even after like spending 3 years in like the Luna Island still haven't turned into demons while like the villages of the Luna Island alone like turning into demons. You know, that's like the purple moon rays affecting them. And considering it would only have to do with like the precisely have to do with like the present day villages of the Luna Island being like the long line of descendants of like the ancestors who lived in Galuna Island in like the distant past. So like since like Galuna Island even since then way back had like the property of like being able to like absorb like the moon rays like remembering over time like basically the descendants of like the ancestors might have developed this like property where like their body might have inherited like the ability of like the ability of like the Galuna Island to be able to like absorb moonlight and absorb like the moon rays. So like I'm different since like the present day villagers of Galuna Island will be like descendants of like those ancestors of Galuna Island. Like they might also possess that basically that ability or like property to their body where like their body might have inherited like basically like this property of Galuna Island where like they too would be like absorbing like the purple the rays of like the moon. So like currently since like the purple the rays of like the moon is like the harmful purple rays about differing like they might have like the villagers might have precisely their bodies might have precisely absorbed all the purple rays and that might have been what precisely caused them to basically turn into demons while like since like even Rete as well as like Zaltik had only spent only 3 years on Galuna Island that time might have not at all been sufficient for like them their body to be able to like inherit like the property of like the absorption moon ray absorption property of Galuna Island and would be like the sole reason for like all of neither Rete nor like nor Zalti, like none of them left hastily turning into demons. Even after spending 3 years in Galuna, that is definitely was in the memories. So like I'm also bring in like the present definitely to bring like precisely after resurrecting stealthily resurrecting Deliora what Zalti might have done might have been precisely the ultimate job precisely ordered like to maintain maybe to maintain just like Dante on as soon as like Dante was done resurrecting Deliora and bringing him back Deliora to like because Deliora could like make it like make just Dante any chaos or like make loud noise or scream or anything like this. And before that the ultimate of straight away use like the dot control magic which like the ultimate of precisely absorbed from precisely sharing. Definitely my personal membership. So like I was saying, it's like my personal membership that that they might definitely have like the power to like steal other people's magic, and that might be like the precise a power using with which like power or magic using with which like the ultimate have precisely stolen like sharing like for control magic as well as like that might be precisely how the ultimate have been able to like steal like the moon magic from like the moon temple as well and make it Jaldi's own moon magic as well. It's definitely my version of immersive. When I come to the precisely after resurrection Deliora, Jaldi might have precisely used like straight away used like the dot and roll magic as well on Deliora and might have presently ordered Deliora to like not make a move and remain silent. So like certainly because of this remember different precisely as like a fan also would be like totally heading off to like the moon temple, and but like a such totally fixing in her mind that basically like that she will be straight away be able to like destroy like the moon temple, and also referring what like a San and are going to like shockingly pitch up there on making it back to like the moon temple. To be precisely like Deliora just standing there just like that. And like resurrection and standing there just like that. So like right as like Earth so making it back to like the moon temple straight away. Zalti as well will be present there, the 11% emerge, and Zalti will be straight away ordering and like Deliora to like attack both like Natsu and Ursa. It's definitely not the severe emerge. So like I'm just it would be precisely Natsu that would be like mainly fighting Deliora at that point, while Ambassador maybe Ursa might be trying to like focus on Zalti or trying to like bring down Zalti because like Zalti would be precisely controlling and controlling Deliora. Ambassador Ursa maybe deciding to like basically bring down Zalti. So and to remove that control over Deliora might be one thing that Ursa might be trying to attempt. So government also remember, like I'm different. Eventually, most likely, Assam may be like taking out Zalti, and basically still even then like Vellora would be like even without like the control, Vellora would be still wrecking chaos like all throughout like the Galuna island. So like I was different at that point, but especially by then like with like during like the whole Natsu and Vellora fight itself, like the Natsu will be obviously Natsu both Natsu and Vellora in that fight will be creating like a lot of destruction. So like definitely from like all the impact and intensity of all that destruction, like definitely precisely Rete, who still might have not left Saloon Island, as well as like Gray and Lucy, to be like quickly, hurriedly making it towards like the moon table, and they as well would be shockingly finding out that Deliora has been resurrected, is still alive, so more alive than ever. So like at that point, I was preparing like a team fight between like where like I'm preparing the team of most likely the team of like Asa and Natsu and at that point, like Taylor would be a whole lot stronger than when like Natsu had initially fought against Taylor, where like Taylor had pretty much crumbled because like at that point, like Taylor's lifespan might have been almost fully empty. It's definitely my personal impression. That would be like the sole reason. It's definitely also my personal impression. But like after like Zalti would be like properly like using his like um, moon magic like once like Zalti would be like changing the time of like Teliora to like the time when the Teliora was actually fully healthy. That would be exactly how like Zalti would be currently resurrecting Teliora. So like once like Teliora would be resurrected by Zalti in such a manner, like the Teliora would be like as strong as back when Teliora was during Teliora's prime. It's definitely not the direction, but still it's like Eliora is only immortal and not invincible and permanent only particularly eventually it would be like the team attack of like team effort and team attack of like Arsa, Natsu, Gray, Rete, as well as maybe also Lucy as well. That would be like eventually the collective attack, like eventually bringing or falling and defeating and bringing down Eliora. And like that fight, I'm personally not referring precisely, especially since like Lucy already had gotten a level upgrade or like a power upgrade while fighting off against Cherry. I'm personally not referring in the fight against Eliora, it would be like especially Nasu and Gray and Rete that would be like getting their turns to get like their get the power up there. It's definitely my personal favorite. So like once like they would be like actually bringing and defeating and bringing down the Dora at that point. I'm also bringing eventually once like Ursa would be bringing Natsu and everyone back to and at that point I'm going to bring with Deliora defeated. I'm going to bring Zarti maybe like either like Zarti succeeding in like escaping. That's like one serious possibility that I'm totally correcting. Like even after being defeated, Zarti still like while and all of them would be only focused on like fighting and bringing down the Europe by then like I'm going to bring maybe like Zarti after even losing control like and being defeated by Nostalgia or so like Zarti might think that it's like game over for Zarti. So like I'm going to bring Zarti instead like maybe planning on escaping and Zarti either possibly succeeding in like escaping or like Zarti being so badly injured and defeated by Ursa that like Zarti won't be able to move. So like at that point like if that's the scenario, then I'm going to bring Zaki maybe turned over to like the council by Astra. It's like the other possibility that I'm about to bring. So anyway, like one like Pelora would be defeated and one like Nasu and like Astra would be bringing Nasu and everyone back to like the old man Karo and those bring. precisely because of this exact power update that like Lucy as well as that which I'm preferring Natsu and Gray as well as Rete will be getting while fighting Dejora and preferring precisely because of that power update. Like once like they return back to like the fairy tale guild base, like even though initially like the old man macro would be supporting them and basically definitely most likely would be giving them punishment as well. It should be like spanning to like almost 1 week. 1 week of punishment is what I'm preferring for Natsu and Lucy and happy will be totally getting for like breaking the rules of disrespecting of the super emergency. But after that, 1 week of punishment and departing yeah, like Natsu and through like Natsu Lucy as well as Gray as well, getting like their major shocks with like basically old man macro like fully recognizing like their growth, extreme growth in strength after like attempting and succeeding in this like trying mission of the Luna Island. That basically at that point I was preparing macro to like totally promote Natsu, Gray and Lucy to precisely to be able to like handle trying mission, like promoting them to like the second floor of the fairy tale guild base as like senior fairy tale guild members. It's like the scenario, it's a scenario that I'm also preparing and I'm still thinking on to. So like basically according to my pitching preparation and looking eventually like the fight against Blade or eventually reaching like the final showdown fight and that final showdown fight and because my person Zero will be like the team of like Raspan, Asu, Lucy, Gray and Rete on one side like basically versus like Failure and like the team attack both the even before like that team attack and both the like eventually since like Delora would be like would be thrown to the like so extremely powerful like I'm ring maybe at some point during the fight like I'm rings either Gray or Rete actually Rete and ring by them Rete would be totally be ending up being like an absolutely changed person that basically ring either Rete or like Gray thinking of like basically using their ice shell magic for them to be able to like stop Delora but at that point, I was suffering enough to once again, like totally snapping at them or like getting angry at them, and basically that most likely like preventing them from trying to attempt like the ice cream might become failure or like I'm about to bring it like not to like maybe shouting at them and basically still like not to way like giving them the confidence that they don't need to like sacrifice themselves like in order for them to say in order for them to like defeat the Aura. So like basically in such a manner like the collective team attack like those different would be like only overpowering and defeating and even taking the life of Delora. But different like Delora while it being immortal it's still not invincible and they're only suffering like their team attack would be taking the life of Delora eventually. It's the scenario that I'm also putting. And at that point, I'm also putting like in that final attack, I'm also putting maybe that final attack sending Delora will be being so intense that some powerful that maybe that final combined with that collective attack, like sending Delora flying all the way to resulting in like Delora totally crashing onto like the moon temple and maybe that like destroying like the entirety of like the moon temple is like also like a possible scenario that in scenario that I'm looking at different and like the moment like the moon temple would be like completely destroyed and those different like straight away like the purple moon rays would be like stopping and like the moon would be returning back into its like normal state and spray and those different maybe like straight as like the actual moon rays would be like falling onto like the villages and those different maybe without much delay as well like the villagers like finally getting back their actual human form it's like also like the eventual final scenario that I'm also personally pressing and my personal impression. Like definitely my personal impression is that like eventually once like Natsu and Crow would be like finally succeeding in like destroying like the moon temple like even though like the moon magic as well would be like destroyed that way. And even though that way, like the purple moon will be changing back into like the normal moon as well. And those different, even though that way, like the moon's magic would be thought to be destroyed. Still, if like Zalti escapes, then Ambassador of the thing like the moon magic like still living on through Zalti because like Zalti by now would have like back when Zalti might have 3 years back when soared up to the Luna Island and still taking my personal time rushing back. And Zalti will be having some sort of unique magic using which Zalti would be able to like steal other people's magic and precisely that it might have precisely it might have just be like other people's magic like that they might have had this like unique magical power to be able to like steal any sort of magic so like on those different that it might have precisely stolen like the moon magic from like the moon temple and made its own so like I'm different if that escapes like even if like Natsu and Crew eventually once like Natsu and Crew finally destroys like the moon temple still if that escapes then the moon magic would be still living on through Zalti at that point. It was definitely also my personal impression. So like definitely my personal impression right now is that like while all the villagers as well as like you see the only thing that like us would be like putting on this like a giant armor and using like the power of the throw of the giant armor and using the spear as well as like coupling that with like Natsu's like flame boost and everything like while using all this like while the villagers will be the only thing that like us would be trying to like destroy like the actual moon and also I think Arsa was like Arsa's goal would be to like precisely send that spear to precisely make it be able to make it to be able to like precisely land on like the precise center of like the moon temple so that like the moon temple would be like completely and fully like destroyed and the separate precise theme would be like precisely like in like that precise area in which like the precise moon magic might be like present within that moon temple like there would be like that civil like place like where like the moon magic might have been like precisely installed and might have been sealed away, which like that seal might have been undone by Zalti, and like that might be how Zalti might have stolen like the moon magic is also certainly my personal impression. So like that precise central point in like the moon temple where like this moon magic is like actually installed and processed like would be like that would be like the best location where Artha would be totally aiming for. That's definitely my personal impression. And Artha might have totally seen that like moon magic like structure within like the moon temple like that central point while Artha might have showed up to like the moon temple recently is definitely my personal impression. And for my personal impressions and like once like some might have seen that precise moon magic installation from like the central point of like the moon temple at that point, and like some might have already figured that this won't be like easy to destroy. So like I'm also precisely it could be precisely because of that reason that some might be currently using this lance or like this great powerful spear of Asa that can like repel away darkness because like I'm considering some might have sense like dark aura or like a dark kind of aura like a force shield like surrounding like that central moon magic installation within like the moon temple is definitely another situation. So like likely to be for us to be able to like destroy that using Earth's sphere without us even having to like go all the way back once again to like the moon temple and do it themselves with the like precise reason for like plus like current strategy by precisely throwing that spear from like the village and using like Natsu's flame juice help as well. So this precisely to exactly achieve this and that way to like destroy that moon magic installation which would be like uh, precisely instantly would be like destroying that will be precisely instantly like removing like the purple moon from the sky and turning moves the moon back to its like normal self would be what I would be genuinely believing and my personal theory is that that would actually be like the truth and like the reality of the situation that if like that sphere lands on like that precise moon magic exploration that like the temple that would be exactly happening but I'm also think even though Asla would be throwing her spear I'm also putting that sphere to like precisely not land on that precise moon magic installation. Like the scenario that I'm also putting. So like the mega version the impression is for like that the precise sphere throw of which I'm also trying to do precisely that to like destroy that exact moon magic installation within like the moon temple. I'm also putting that sphere throw of to like totally fail and like the sphere to like not reach or like not destroy land on like the moon magic installation at all and I'm considering to do safely because of Zardi. I'm considering Zardi will be totally using might have also already pointed his like time arc magic on like stealthily pointed his like time arc magic and might have sent out his like a time arc magic towards like that sphere. So like that sphere might have been already been caught under the trap of like the time arc magic. So like I'm considering yet like Zardi most likely stopping like the sphere once Artha would be throwing it like I'm considering using like the time arc magic like Zardi controlling and stopping that fear with like the absolute stealth is also like a scenario that I'm looking at. So like I'm considering what Arsa might be witnessing would be like Arsa throwing the fear and like fear going all the way towards like the distant most temple. But like there like Arsa would be like not hearing any sort of like destruction noise or anything. I'm considering precisely Zalti as like the precise fear would be about to land on like the moon temple like at that very last second I'm considering Zalti precisely like basically deciding to like make a move on his like more magic timer magic and basically precisely at that point like Zalti either pausing like the most likely pausing that precise sphere as it like just about to like land on like the moon temple. It's like the scenario that I'm going to talk about. So that like since that's what I'm preparing, so that like Zalti would be even doing that, so that like Zalti would want like a start to like basically go to spot up to even go all the way up to like the moon temple, where like Zalti might be patiently waiting to basically like to create like ultimate twist, but like basically Zalti might have already like resurrected and kept Deliora right there, and Zalti might want like and so to like so up to all the way to like the notable were like starting I did only planning on taking them out using Deliora. It's definitely my person to remember. So like I was wondering that exact scenario where like Saudi throwing the spear and that was neither of the nor like the villagers not hearing any sort of destruction sound once like the spear like goes to like all the way to like the far away distance and reaching like the moon table. It's like the scenario that I'm about. So like Epsa would be totally confused, and then Epsa and Nasu totally decided to like to basically find out what exactly happened, and basically Epsa and Nasu totally heading off to like the Mount Table, and they are them shockingly finding like Deliora resurrected and fully alive. It's like the scenario that I'm totally putting and nothing to rain. Yeah, so like the main is into realization right now is like actually like throwing like this spear to the actual moon, like about preparing what the ultimate originally like realize that basically that Arsa had figured out like until the thing it might be precisely that like the purple moon might actually be like covering around like the moon might have actually is not actually turned like the actual moon into purple, but like what like, the moon magic might have done might have been like turn create like a covering like a thick covering over like the actual moon of like this purple colored moon, and that might be what would be like showering down the purple rays onto like Galuna Island, especially in November. So like and then those separating like that purple rays might the since like the moon magic was like performed out of like precisely Galuna Island, and was different for solely because of that temple different, even though the moon might have turned purple, like I'm different like the purple moon rays and maybe like the purple colored moon might only be visible even from Galuna Island alone. It's definitely my cousin's also my cousin's impression. Else like even before coming to Galuna Island, since like Zati as well as like Rete, all of them had like came to Galuna Island 3 years back and had been like performing like the moon magic like from 3 years back, like consistently from 3 years back. And so like since like so because of that like I'm remembering even 3 years back like the entire world would have noticed like the moon turning purple. It's definitely my personal experience. So like my personal experience is that like precisely the reason for like the entire rest of like the world not like would have like went like the moon might even after like performing like the moon magic like I'm remembering then like people watch like the moon from anywhere outside of the Luna Island, the moon would still be like the normal white moon. It's definitely my personal language. It would be only like the moon magic would be like special that basically since it's like solely performed from like since like the moon temple like in Galuna Island, and since like it's only performed within like the moon magic is like solely performed within Galuna Island temple. It would be only once like someone enters like Galuna Island and basically they might be able to like even witness like the moon being purple. It's also definitely my personal language. So even though it would be like a filament like a thick filament like covering of like purple color of covering over like the moon. It's definitely my favorite element. So like I'm preparing right now with like Asta throwing Asta might have totally figured that out, and basically with Asta basically is throwing this like spear towards like the moon and totally preparing, and my theory predictions that like this precise moon magic as well. So totally would have to do with like the precise like the information about like the moon magic might have like actually even came from like maybe it might have been like especially the people of Prago that might have even knew about like this moon temple and like this moon magic and might have even told Rete about like it being possible through like the moon magic to be for like Rete to to resurrect Periora so that like Rete could like fight and defeat and take the life of Periora so that like those people remaining citizens of Bravo who still held that grudge and reserved to get revenge on Beliora will be able to like get their revenge on Beliora by like having a rate like fight and take the life of Beliora. That may not have encouraged. So it might be precisely those people that might have like maybe might have told precisely rate about the secret about like Galuna Island and like the moon, purple moon magic was definitely my personal rememberation. So, my personal rememberation that like especially because like Arsan knew has revealed that she knows about like the secret of like the people of Sarago. And since Arsan knows something, and that something would be precisely that basically Deliora's initial resurrection itself might have been precisely due to like precisely Zardi, who might have been like who even some might not realize that like the Zardi, the careful Zardi that is right now had seen in like the Moon Temple was like that precisely ex Fairy Tales Guild member that might have totally been kicked out of like the Fairy Tales Guild by precisely Uro. So like I'm considering it might have been precisely because of that ex-heritage guild member being like the precise person that had unleashed, like that had like broken like the seal and that way like released Teliora in like the distant past, which resulted in like the entire town of Prago being destroyed. And since it's like that might have been that news might have spread after like Oro had turned Teliora into like a block of ice and everything those differences that a news might have spread that basically it was like an experience guild members my guild member was like the particular reason for like the which eventually resulted in like Delora being resurrected and basically Delora being released into like eventually destroying the town of Sarago. It will be precisely because of this reason that like Arsa even asked like the six is even able to like identify like the people who perform like the movement ceremony as like precisely on seeing their faces, basically them being like citizens of Brago. It's definitely my personal impression. So like I'm also precisely because Arsan knows of all these like secrets of like the people of Brago. Especially because of this reason, like since like the people of Brago might definitely according to my personal theory might know that secret of like the moon magic and all that. Especially because of this reason would be like the precise reason of Arsa as well currently being able to like figure it out that basically by like throwing her spear towards like the moon, like she would be able to like destroy that for covering surrounding like the moon, and basically that way she would be able to like destroy like the issue of like the purple moon rays falling on Galuna Island. It's definitely my personal opinion. Or maybe like Atta might have only figured that out recently when considering it might be after like sadly after like Atta defeating like all of those citizens who performed like some citizens of Braga who along with like Arete had and Dati had like performed like the moon magic all this like past Moonlight ceremony all the past 3 years. Like once like Artha fought against them in like the present and basically once Artha defeated them and once like Artha basically figured out their identity. It might be at that point like there might have happened like a secret interaction between Artha and those people through which like might have been how Artha might have been able to like figure out like the actual details about like the mystery of like the moon magic and the purple rays and everything. So this might be like the precise reason for us right now currently in like the person being able to like, figure out that basically throwing her spear towards like the purple moon would be like more than enough to like be able to like save all the villages of like Galuna Island. It's definitely my personal remembrance. Basically, like in short, according to my personal remembrance, my personal remembering like her spear even landing on like the purple moon would only cause like the purple covering surrounding like the actual most likely it would be most likely to only be destroyed and like the actual moon that way being like the purple covering on like the actual moon being like the reduced from Galuna Island and that way like basically the actual moon rays like the actual pure moon rays like falling onto and straight away falling onto Galuna Island and like the Galuna Island and like the villagers of the Galuna Island who might have inherited like, the absorption property of like the moon rays of the Island. It is straight away absorbing like the actual moon rays and like the actual moon rays will be falling onto those villages and without much delay like them returning back to like the human form was like the scenario that I'm developing right now. Okay, so like the name of the video direction right now was like the purple moon magic like only having like the effect of altering like the villagers' memories. My person remember shows that like so that the villages of Galuna Island, even from ancient time, might have been like a tribe of like humans who had like a demon-like form to begin with. It's definitely not a remembrance. So like I'm referring, they might have like envied like humans and might have wanted badly to have human form. So like I'm referring change their body and want they might have badly wanted to like their body to like transform into like human form. So like different, but that's it, they couldn't like different. The ancient ancestor like the Sunday villages of Galuna Island might have only back then might have built this like moon temple and might have created somehow might have figured out a way to like create this like moon magic and might have then performed this moon magic ceremony as their way to like basically since they might have realized that they can't alter their bodies and change it into human like bodies like and those different things they might have decided to like find a solution instead chose figured out another solution which might have been to like possibly alter their memory so that like they were using like the effect of like and that way like they might have performed like purple moon magic so that like using like the effect of like the purple moon magic, like they were able to like at least they like partly they could like have their memory altered, collectively altered, so that like during daytime they would be like they would be having like only part of their body turned into that demon-like form. So like they would be so that they would be like mainly human with like partly demon-like form body during the daytime and so that like it was only during nighttime that basically like they would so that like as my question to you, so that like it would be only during nighttime that basically like the effects of like the puzzle move won't be like working so that like basically their memory alteration like it won't be working during nighttime and hence why my question to you that maybe during nighttime like all of like the villagers would be having like their original demon bodies. Definitely my person to remember. My person to remember is that like it might have only been like the ancient ancestors of like the present day villages of Galuna Island that might have alone had like that extreme insecurity and might have even performed the moon magic ceremony totally and solely due to like the extreme insecurity. That's definitely my person to remember. But like as time passed, like I'm participating, their descendants might have only gotten over their insecurities and basically might have learned to like accept themselves for like the uh, for them being like an actual demon like tribe. It's definitely my personal impression. So I'm participating like eventually like so like I'm participating once like 3 years back precisely once like a rate as well as like once like rate as well as like all of them like Jati and all of them showed up and performed like the moon magic like I'm participating like the villagers might have like realized what was going on that like the moon turning purple like instantly like the villagers might have and because like the history of like the moon temple and like basically uh about like the moon temple and like the purple moon and how about like the ancestors insecurities and all that might have been passed down over generations even to like the present day villagers as well knowing about like the purple moon magic ceremony and like the purple moon and everything so like I'm 3 years, considerably 3 years back when like Rete and Zalti and all of them had showed up to the Luna Island, had started performing like the moon magic like and when like the demon villagers of like the Luna Island started like seeing like the purple moon magic and they might have straight away purple moon like at that point so they might have straight away figured out like what was going on and basically in like the present day like what they might have wanted to get over might have been like their whole their body turning into like half to mainly like human like form with only like a bit of like the demon form to their bodies during like the daytime. Like they might have still wanted to like basically remain at like their true self with like their entire body being like in the actual demon form. That might have been what like especially the villagers of Galuna Island might have genuinely wanted. Like they might have wanted like their actual original body back. So precisely maybe because of this reason they might have only put up like the such of maybe like 3 years back like maybe like or like they might have attempted like they might have figured that basically like if someone is performing like the moon magic ceremony in like the moon temple so like they might have head off to like stop that moon magic ceremony but like each time I'm considering Galti using like the moon magic would be also having like more technically the power to be able to like or maybe like combining like the moon magic and time magic, or like maybe it would be the another side of like the moon magic powers using which is like the ultimate might have like changed like the time of the all the villagers and like prevented all the villagers from being able to like make it to like the rules for them to be able to like stop like the ceremony. So like Ambassador at that point, Ambassador might be when like the villages might have put up like the wizard extra rank wizard job offer. So that like precisely they will be hoping that someone with some strong guild wizard guilds would be showing up to Galuna Island and basically would be like since like they would be and like they would the villagers might not only hope that this they would be able to like make it to like the rules and basically stop like put an end to like the moon magic ceremony so that like finally the villagers would be the present day villagers of like Galuna Island would be finally be able to like get back their original fully human like body is definitely my personal dream. But so what personally happening right now would be like with like the entire festival is having like the body fully turned into demon like body. This will be exactly what like the intent behind like the present day villagers even putting up like the wizard Segrain wizard job of like Galuna Island is definitely my personal dream. So like currently like the villagers might have got exactly what they might have wanted. It's definitely my personal dream. So like my passenger impression that like the villages of Galuna Island even back then might not only felt that even if like any in stronger churches even took up their rank job offer of Galuna Island and even it came to like Galuna Island and if like the if like that passenger should even found out what exactly the villagers wanted what exactly like the villagers of Galuna Island were trying to achieve like what they wanted was to like basically return them back to basically their original human like form. Like I'm also talking like the villagers might have sort of felt that if like any wizard guild even knows finds out that like those wizard guild won't be like help won't be able to like understand like the people of the villages of Galuna and then that way won't be helping them at all. Might have been what like precisely the villagers might have totally felt. So like they might have totally created decided to like, create this fake story where like by like fake story is by turning themselves into like this human like characters as part of the story that have been because of like the purple moon rays having been turned into demon like form so that like it's like they would change like the story in like of like the actual truth and fake it in such a manner like basically the wizard guilds that will be showing up to Galuna Island would be having more of an incentive and more of a desire to like have to basically save all the villagers of Galuna Island, and that way like and that way like the villages of Galuna Island would be able to like, achieve their goal. Might have been like this plan or like strategy the villages of Galuna Island might have like, used. Definitely my person to remember. So like I'm just remembering like the story about like the village elder like even losing his son Bobo. All that might have been like an absolute lie to probably create the sympathy towards like the wizard guilds that will be showing up to Galuna Island to make that way make the wizard guilds that basically be determined to be able to like succeed in like the wizard job and stop like the moon magic ceremony that has been going on for like the past 3 years. It's definitely my personal enjoyment. So like I'm also Bobo even being present in like the port town of Hargia. While Bobo's like a part of Bobo's arc alone like haven't been changed into demon form. Like the actuality of it might have been precisely that like it might have been like Bobo might have been like actually even back then like when like Natsu and Crew like had met Bobo back in like the pop town of Half like Boba might have been actually like disguising himself into like making him look like human form. Like he might have worn some sort of like a human skin like covering to make himself appear as like human, and he might have maybe worn a cap to like maybe hide his home as well. It's like that's something that I'm considering, and so that like the part of it that basically looked like it was like in demon like form like might have been like the only part of his like actual body. The remaining might have been like disguised to make Bobo look like he's like a human that has been that has uh, that has been harmed by like the issues going on in Galuna Island and having his like that part of his arm turned into like demon like form such a manner like basically Bobo might have been tricking Natsu and all of that. So then might not just be in Bobo, but it might have also been like the villagers as well. Might have been like a team effort by the villagers as well as Bobo. Like I'm considering the village elder like that villagers might have of the Luna Island might have collectively decided to like safely send like the son of the village elder Bobo to precisely the pop town of Hargion to precisely that way to precisely bring using Bobo bring any like wizard guild members that he can find to precisely Galuna Island to be able to like stop that way, be able to like stop like the moon magic ceremony happening in like Galuna Island. So like this much might have been only what might have happened up until now. That's definitely my personal theory and prediction. Okay, so like definitely my personal theory and prediction right now with like the three extraneous skill field member henchmen or the right way like among them like the magic eraser guy even like mention narrator's name as from narrator Sama to like basically right now with like in naming a rate talking about rate as like a rate Leon and so we don't different so with the status of the sprint man so they don't different these three Islamic skill guild members might be like actually secretly allied with like Zalti and not rate definitely my personal theory and direction so like my person during apprenticeship said like even from like the start like I'm considering like this Lamia skill guild members after like getting kicked out like the Lamia skill guild might have totally like joined like the skill and that might be how like they might have came out of and turned into like the henchmen of Zalti if the name of the remember. So like eventually like at some point they might have run into like met like potentially right at some point in like the computer and then through Rete they might have figured out what Rete is like planning and basically about like the resurrection of Peliora and all that. So like at that point I'm interpreting precisely since like Sherry the Islamic skill remember Sherry has like her thought controlling magic like I'm interpreting precisely the ultimate have totally figured like basically from his like ultimate plan to like to use that or control magic of Sherry to precisely control failure. And I was different Sherry might have been like totally okay with like Zagit only controlling taking like and I was different maybe Sherry might have only seen like maybe like Zagit might have been like the three Islamic guild members like Zalti Sama might be like the way they would be like viewing Zalti. Like Zalti would be like the side person that they would be viewing as their ultimate leader. So like I'm considering maybe Sherry might have willfully given her dog control magic to precisely Zalti and Terry might have already been planning on doing that. Like precisely as like the moment arises, moment finally comes when like Delora, like the ice block surrounding Delora would be like precisely at the time would be coming when like precisely like the moon drift process will be almost over. Like by then like Cherry might have been already like planning on basically handing over her dot control magic to that her master guarding. So like my very impression right now as for like the magic eraser Islamic will member like him being like feeling not at all satisfied with like the certain situation with with the situation appearing as if like Naruto us and all of them have saved the day and like saved like all the demon villagers of like Galuna Island and all that like I'm preferring like scenes that might not only might have irritated or disturbed like precisely the villainous like Islamic skeleton members and probably that's what the like the reason for like the even though like they would have totally achieved their goal by now and precisely the ultimate might have succeeded. So like my personal impression that like maybe since like the moon magic has like an effect on like demon members, I think especially maybe like the ultimate might have totally used like the moon magic as well as the time mark magic in combination to precisely change the time of like the dead and broken up Deliora to back to like the time when it was like fully alive. So like I'm considering so using the time of magic as well as like the moon magic in that combination might be like possibly also like a possibly in a way through which like especially Zalti might have by now like already fully resurrected Deliora. And then the ultimate not only is like to control magic as well. So the slightly odd failure I still like remain silent and not make any move. So like I'm considering Zolti might have been might be waiting for like the right moment to like precisely maybe Zolti might be planning on either escaping silently stealthily with like Deliora. Because like according to Zolti's world like it might not even be like the fairy tale still number with like current present highest priority. Maybe Zolti's highest priority right now would be to like basically to stealthily make it all the way back to maybe like the pure kingdom and protect the target using that by controlling the lure to basically wreak havoc in like the pure kingdom and this that will like especially save the life of all the masters might be like that is like ultimate priority and ultimate goal. So like I'm preferring maybe probably like the magic eraser of Islamic skill member might have been like totally been disturbed with like all the joy of like Natsu and Fruit, as well as like all the demon villagers of Galuna Island, and basically like I'm talking maybe like the magic eraser guy might be planning on basically a meeting with like Zalti, and basically trying to convince Zalti to like precisely before to change his plan and not stealthily leave Galuna Island with like Vedora, but like before doing so, let's just like destroy like the entirety of the Galuna Island and like the villagers and take the life of all of them, as well as like she's precise fairy tales guild members that try to mess with our plan of like the resurrection of Beliora. So this might be what the magic eraser guy would be planning, and like and then he might have totally ordered like the other Islamic state member Toby to like keep a watch on Rete, so that like basically Rete might not figure out that basically what Zalti has already achieved, and that Zalti has like resurrected Beliora and all that. Basically, exactly my considering because my considering is that the magic eraser guy might definitely not want Rete to like find out about like the present resurrection of Deliora, especially because he might probably fear that if Rete finds out about it, like Rete would be like most likely right, he might have figured that Rete has changed a lot, and right now Rete won't be even Rete's priority to force himself to prove to himself that he's stronger than or anything like that. Right now, like the magic eraser guy might be the only thing that if Rete were to currently figure out about Zati succeeding in resurrecting Belior, then Rete might straight away head off to the village and inform the fairy tale members, and that way to totally avoid such a possibility where such a still member by knowing that information beforehand, basically them being able to preparing for an attack, possible attack from from Teliora. Numbers something maybe the magic guy wants to want Zalti to control Deliora and attack using Deliora onto the Peritas build members when they would be least expecting it. So maybe this might be the reason for the magic eraser guy sending his other member Toby to especially keep a watch and be beside Rete is also the commitment considering. So the thing about the temperature right now is that the looks the magic eraser guy Sherry as well as Toby are now which to release to get totally changed into genuinely nice people, and those little different things might looking very that is switching on to that still and those putting up for Rete to most likely eventually end up joining without much great delay. Still I'm also putting to Master Macro with only most likely as even a punishment maybe that's also something that Master Macro ordering maybe Natsu and the sea and maybe even Grey. But I'm considering Grey as well, maybe tagging along. It might be mainly the punishment might just be to Natsu and Lucy to precisely maybe to head out and find subs and find where exactly Arete is, and basically bring Arete back to bring Arete to the fairy tale skill. Maybe that might be the punishment that Master Macro would be giving to Natsu to also a remote kind of talking to that about eventually. Definitely, even though I'm personally not delivering somehow, definitely I'm delivering Master Macro will be definitely giving the order to a rate which is just because of a rate of actions those different just even mission even even just troubling the Luna Island even happening solely due to a rate of actions, and those they're only putting especially because of that as well. I'm considering macro definitely as a punishment, definitely ordering a rate is eventually definitely to join the narrative. It's just definitely the scenario that eventual scenario that I'm sitting on. So precisely because of rate is exam skill guild member henchmen right now being thrown to be genuinely changed to exactly rate being changed to genuinely nice people, and was there only but most likely, at that point, along with a rate, maybe saw the luxury as well as the magic eraser guy as well, eventually ending up being part of the fairy tale guild, joining the fairy tale guild along with a rate. It's also like a possibility, eventual possibility without much great delay that I'm personally only correcting and my personal impression. So like definitely my personal impression, but like that is sitting on those that like what I think is basically that only nobles are able to become council members. Is what I'm thinking. So like I'm just covering precisely that precise council member, wilderness council member, like precisely those two wilderness council member, like basically that council member who has that is the main council, wilderness council member who has some sort of a secret connection to Arpa. But I think he might have been from like the very same orphanage as Arpa was back when both Arpa and like that precise male villainous council member back when they were children, they might have been from like the very same orphanage specifically member engineering. So like Arpa might probably know of the secret that he's not a noble. Is not from like a noble family, certainly member engineering. But yet like he might have only somehow he might have got adopted into like a noble family and he might have then done all sorts of like villainous stuff and basically might have only infiltrated about himself to be able to like infiltrate into like the position of being like one of like the council members, definitely my person to invested. My person to read as for like that is villainous female council member that has now revealed to be like basically been disguising as the Amber potentially as well. First of all, like even disguising herself into like a male appearance to do precisely because like she is like such currently in such a high position as like a council member. So like even with like her wearing a mask or a disguise, still her identity being like her being like recognized would be like a great positive. So precisely because of this reason, she might have used her like unique transformation magical powers to like transformation magic to like transform herself to maybe like a non-existing character. Which might be like the articles. My one person theory impression or like the other person theory impression maybe that like she might have even in like September she herself might have like transformed into like maybe like an experienced skill member and also bring like she might have transformed into that person's like appearance and basically using that appearance she might have actually like resurrected Deliora the not resurrected, but like precisely released Failura with like the help of secret help of Garab that definitely seems like she has access to like the law of magic, like her time of magic even being like the law of magic, like I'm considering she definitely has connection to like the rapid port and it won't be just her, but like also like that male like council member as well would be like having a super connection to Akbar, like that him as well would be definitely having like the connection to like the secret connection to like the last week as well as the definitely not very much. So like I'm remembering some things that behind like societally like undoing the seal of like precisely Deliora and releasing Deliora to Prago might have been reflect the her precise goal and intent like what she might have done might be like she might have precisely disguised herself as one of like the fairy tale still member and I'm considering she might have totally like gotten role to like basically show up to like that precise location where like precisely Fedora goes and basically was like creating like so like my vegetarian is like that basically a female council member and like the representative of might not only discuss herself using her transformation magic into like an experienced guild member and she might have precisely uh, and maybe like there's also like I'm considering maybe of like directing a remote fit of possibility that like precisely maybe even Natsu's own actual father being that precisely fairy guild member whom she might have disguised herself as like using her transformation magic. It's also like a remote possibility that about the so she might have disguised herself as that like a male fairy guild member and back then when he was actually part of like the fairy guild like she might have disguised herself as him and basically she think her that female villainous council member in her disguise form might have probably released like Deliora, causing like Deliora to be like that Deliora getting released and basically Deliora definitely also like definitely thinking to my person president would definitely be one of like the many demons of belong to Zara like exactly like the lullaby demon. Deliora would be another demon. So like precisely according to like Zara as well as like that female wilderness council members plan like they might have like she might have discussed herself as like that male Faraday field member and might have surprisingly released Leora, causing like the town of like the city of Saragossa to be that totally destroyed. So like there might have been a witness to basically that release of Leora. So by this by the Faraday field member, so like the news might have spread after like Delora was like turned into ice by Uru, like news might have spread all throughout. And this might be the precise reason for like us even telling that precise like us on realizing that like basically this might be the reason for like us instantly being able to like even recognize like the people who perform like the moon magic ceremony as like on seeing their face like straight away being able to like recognize that they are like citizens of Prague. But the brain could definitely have to do with like after having this news. So like negotiating theory for instance, like back then like Kuru might have definitely been like most likely might have been like some official master of like the fairy tale shield. Back then Master Makarov might have only taken up like the position as like the master of the fairy tale guild after like precisely Uru had turned into ice and all of them back in like the fairy tale guild like everyone thought that Uru had died by believing like Grace like died is definitely my person the rainbow. So about separating like precisely it might have been like tragedy, especially since like there was like the initial attack by that specific dark guild with that using the lullaby float to precisely take the life of all the masters. It definitely so especially because of that, like even that attack take the life of all the masters using the lullaby float as well might be under like the might be totally might have been strictly carried out according to like the secret order given to them by precisely like this precise exact two council members, villainous council members, definitely members of the Emperor. So number preparing definitely always like the destruction and the death of all the masters of the North Indians and that way through that like the destruction of like all the North Indians being possible and being more easy might have been like a plan and an ultimate goal that might have remained within the minds of these two villainous like council members this entire time for a long time as well. It's definitely my person to impression. So maybe this might be the reason for like possibly even like that professional villain of male council member even precisely recognizing like Natsu's like second name and recognizing it's definitely not person to remember. It's precisely because like that the distant past that precise female villain of council member who seems to have a strong bond with like that villain of male council member. In like the distant past, most likely having precisely disguised as this precise exact male fairy tale skill member, precisely Nasir's father, as like, and precisely that would be how she might have precisely like she might have back when she had like basically released Peliora, like she might have like done that with like the disguise of like Nasir's father, who might be currently an ex fairy tale skill member, someone who might have totally sort of kicked out of like the fairy tale skill precisely by the thing. Master Macro after like they all believe that basically Uru had died because of him. Like they believe definitely there might have been a witness. So like I'm also referring to like the first person like releasing Beliora. So like everyone in like the Perseus might have genuinely believed that and maybe even to the person they genuinely believe that it was like actually like Nantu's father or that's right current ex Perseus guild member might be the precise person that had like basically uh, released like a daily and he had done that with like the best intent to like take the life of Guru. That he was such a villainous character might be what like the fairy tale skill members like even to the present day, including us might be believing even to the present day. This would be something that Natsu would have absolutely no idea. Like neither Natsu Gray or Lucy or none of them would have any sort of idea about it definitely might not know at all about this. This definitely might be very interesting. Even that as well like basically an attempt by the these like that says female vigilance council member to like get rid of like Uru who might have been back then like the master of like the fair he always like the master might have been like the target of like not just these two villainous like council members alone but like also like the first target of Zarf as well like Zarf as well might have badly totally just like even to the person they Zarf would like totally dislike all the normal guilds and like all the masters of like the normal guilds and the would badly want the destruction of all that. And when what might have will be brought like these two villainous council members to basically team up with the might have been precisely the ultimate goal of these two villainous council members, which might have been precisely for them to basically stealthily by aligning the flex with articles and sort of like for them to like stealthily take the life of all the masters so that like at that point like this question of like all the normal guilds wouldn't be such much of like a half task at all because like without the masters all the normal guilds wouldn't be having like the teamwork or coordination. It's definitely my person to remember. So like by destroying all these like masters and like the normal guilds like these two villain council members like might be planning on like basically using their force ally allied force of like the target for them to like then but like the destruction of all the masters and all the normal for them to like then bring like all of like the darkens out there precisely to like invading to make them invade into like the Fiora kingdom and then so that like at that point it would be so easy for like these two villainous council members to quickly and easily take out all the remaining council members who would be like genuinely good council members. So like I'm also so that like at that point these two council members might their ultimate goal would be to like basically rule over like the entirety of like the Fiora kingdom as like the only two council members rulers of like the entirety of like the Fiora kingdom, which might be like the ultimate goal. Like so and there might experience that like they might be only trusting for Zaraf as well to be exactly wanting that exact same goal. But in actuality, my personal theory that Zaraf might be secretly planning on eventually like once such a situation even happens, like Zaraf might be hoping such a situation eventually happens and Zaraf succeeds by through helping them. But like Zaraf might be only planning that basically to secretly betray like to totally portray them in such a scenario. Once like such scenario happens, like Garth might be totally planning on taking the life of like both these two villainous council members as well, so that like Garth can totally reign over like the entirety of not just the Fiora kingdom, but like maybe or all over the world, because like the Fiora kingdom might be like such a place in like the entire world of like the fairy tales world where like the strongest wizard might be present. So like I'm departing according to Zaraf, like basically like destroying like all the masters and all the normal guilds and all the council members and that way by the if Zaraf is able to like do that and then like Zaraf would be able to like, take off not only take over like the Fiora kingdom but like Zaraf would be able to like take over like the entire world and rule over the entire world and create chaos as which should be precisely what Zaraf wants to like simply wreak havoc and create chaos and like rule over the entire world in such a villainistic and destructive manner would be like Zarof's like ultimate goal is definitely my personal interest. So like definitely I'm still thinking my personal interest that the spirit of Zarok would be an extremely villainous spirit that basically that Zarok would be secretly definitely totally planning on eventually totally betraying these two villainous council members. It's definitely my personal interest and that only above the brain to be only happening in like very distances around that. That point above the brain, these two million of council member will be totally having like their whole character changing and to basically them choosing the help of like the parents will be taking the help of like the parents at that point in like the distant future for and they will be like totally like seeking the help of the parents to basically bring down like the it's like the scenario that I'm only talking for like the very distant data. So like my distant data and research were like these two general council members like back in like the distant past when like Delora had basically caused like Oros to turn into ice like basically at that point possible even though Delora was as well turned into ice like I'm something like still I'm like that threat to general council members might have totally felt that like it was like their mission was like a successful and basically they have at least succeeded in taking out the like one of like the masters of like one of like the normal guild characters. So I'm also praying since then I'm also praying like both these two villains members might have totally given up like the possibility of like ever being able to like resurrect Deliora or even the possibility of like them being able to control Deliora, especially my personal impression. So like I'm also eventually since like Rete had been like since that day Rete had been like devoting like a remaining like entire life he grew up to consistently look for a search and look for a way to like basically be able to like resurrect Deliora and so the thing like eventually as like Rete grew up like and Rete through like the citizens in like the town of Prague might have like figured out about like the moon magic and like the moon temple and like the Galuna island. My cousin impressions that maybe coincidentally like during that time like apparently that the first female one among those two village council members might have been like casually imprisoned there, or like it might have been precisely that female council member who has like the transformation magic to give like disguise herself. Like she might have been like originally present during that exact time in like the town of Prago during that time. So like she might have precisely heard of this and precisely heard of this and precisely figured that basically so Deliora is in fact like Deliora can in fact be resurrected. So like I was referring this precise female council member since then might have precisely been planning on like precisely and about the prediction. Right now, since it's revealed that basically like the three Islamic scale members are genuinely loyal to Rete and about the thing like that then like precisely when Rete might have showed up to the town of Sarago. So like my personal impressions were like through Rete like when like the disguised villain of council member might have totally realized that basically that failure of ice can be like destroyed and be brought back. Like basically at that point of the thing, she might have since then might have been like patiently waiting like and for like that moment to happen because like by then like she might have only figured that basically that she would be able to like about like some sort of like different magic using the like she might be able to like actually control Failura and about that only thing it might be maybe like the moon magic like since like the moon magic have an effect on like the demons citizens of like the villages of like Galuna Island and the Segrain might be through like some unique power of like the moon magic that she might have actually succeeded in like controlling Beliora as well as like combining that with her time arc magic like she might be even able to like resurrect and straight away control Beliora as well. It's definitely my working impression. So also like Dr. I have to make it especially that if we share it like dot control management like share dot control man can only like control like non-living objects like I'm talking about living. So like Sherry and her dot control magic might have absolutely no role in basically like in case Lizardi like basically who like that say, female council member like having been by now definitely she might have like succeeded in like uh, their goal of like being able to like control the Joras Carolina doesn't event. Hence why like she was like so overjoyed that basically because of that joyful feeling she might have totally decided to like fix up all the destroyed villages of like the villages in like Galuna and the name of the celebration because like they have to like endure like the suffering for like 3 years, 3 40 years like as like slowly like in 3 years like they have to like that female council member have find and that villainous two council members have finally achieved their goal of like being able to like resurrect and control Fedora. It's definitely my personal impression. So like I'm considering also like basically Nasu while fighting that say while fighting Zalti like potentially even smelling like strange perfume from Zalti. Like it would only have to do with like the fresh perfume of like this fresh female villainous council member. It's definitely my personal impression. So like in my personal impressions that like these two villainous council members would be like so desperate to like basically destroy all the masters as well as like all the non and be like the only two council rulers that would like totally rule over like the entire like the Flora kingdom as villainously as they please. It's definitely my personal this would be like most likely their ultimate goal and that way for like having like the dark guild like it will be taking over like and invading like the Flora kingdom next with absolutely no normal guilds at all. Just like the entire section normal guilds destroyed and like if you are a kingdom filled with like dark guilds and dark guilds alone, like this would be like and for them to like rule over all the team ruling over like the entire of like your kingdom and just the entire of like the dark guilds to create all sorts of chaos and do all sorts of like dark villainous and everything might be like the ultimate goal of these two villainous council members is definitely my person their emergence. So like they might be like actually told like they might be like totally and in the process for them to like using like all that great army of darkness for them to be able to like without like the normal not being able to like protect like the remaining council members like them being able to like control using all these targets, taking the life of all the remaining good council members as well. So that like they them to be like the only ruler that will be remaining will be what perfectly like these two villainous council members will be like planning and plotting and thinking. And so in Churchill's world they might be like purging their causes towards like leading to achieving this goal in like a bunch of different manner simultaneously. They will be like getting effort in like all sorts of different ways from simultaneously, especially by the Supreme. So my Vegetarian impression is that even while like the whole lullaby float scenario was like happening, like even then there was different on one side, like precisely it might have been precisely the main villainous council member that might have held like that exact the dark kill with the precisely lullaby float attempts to that way like takes the life of all the masters while simultaneously while this will be happening like even before like the lullaby float scenario even happening like basically that female villainous council member had already began, like 3 years back, had already began her attempt simultaneously to destroy all the masters and all the normal guilds by precisely her putting her effort in like Galuna Island simultaneously. Even the to resurrect failure and suspend control Legiona already even back then. It's definitely my positive impression. So like I'm precisely with like the lullaby float attempt ending up being like a failure about the product. So that's the main villainous council member would be like already the moment like that process that lullaby float attempt to like take the life of all the masters ended up being like a failure. The president right then itself like that this villainous like male council member might have already straight away moved on to his like next attempts to like basically and next attempt and next strategy. So most likely maybe like awaken like another powerful weapon or like another demon of strong demon of like Zerf and basically trying to control that and maybe like using that to like eventually achieve their goal of taking the life of all the masters and deploying all the organization. So simultaneously it will be just this so my potential is that it will be just these two council members alone that will be like I mean like the total council members it will be just these two council members alone that will be villainous. So like they will be like simultaneously will be like simultaneously and consistently will be like attempting like all sorts of villainous strategies to like eventually reach their goal without giving up to like eventually reach their goal of like destroying all the monsters and all the normal. Definitely my personal impression. So like definitely my personal impression right now for like Guru's own daughter like being totally disliking Guru and then ending up being like the reason for like Guru eventually ending up that like and so different and the accuracy of the situation would be like that all the different class like and personal impression that like definitely, it would be all Segrain and Segrain alone would be like the only villain and probably UruDaughter like while currently she is like one of like the female villain council member counterpart of Segrain like she actually won't even be like in actuality she won't even be like the actual counterpart of Segrain like the actuality of the situation being of like the Segrain was pretty like having learned all the it like the Segrain even having learned all those great number of books in the like library like locating within like the council building of like Segrain might have only not for Segrain to achieve like dinner for example the thing like the soft magic that Segrain might have felt like learning might have been precisely that a human controlling magic. It's definitely my personal impression. So like precisely that day, like that very distant past when Guru had lost her daughter and Guru had already thought her daughter had possibly died. Like I'm remembering that precise day I'm remembering it might have been precisely Severin that might have precisely affected Guru's own daughter and basically with like the extreme villains of Severin like Severin it might have been something that Severin might have already done precisely to achieve such like villainous role. Like, but eventually, like, Segrain might have like given place before like making it to the council. Like, Segrain might have had like maybe like initially Segrain's villainous role might have only been to like only trick and cheat his and lie and cheat his way into like somehow being like infiltrate into like the council and being like the council member. So once Segrain might have made it to made it as like a council member at that point. Segrain might have made his like next extreme villain of gold, which might have been for him to like be like the one and only absolute the ruler that gets to rule or like the entire society or basically deciding, setting up its next goal to like basically destroy all the masters and destroy all the nominations and then destroy and take down all the remaining council members so that like Segrain can rule over everyone as like supreme. As like the top at like the very top position, Segrain alone can basically remain at like the top position, rule over and forcefully enforce all of its like villainous rules and everything basically onto like everybody else. Like this might be possibly like Segrain's like ultimate goal. So like I'm preparing certainly to achieve like Segrain's ultimate goal. Segrain might have already decided that he would need only need a counterpart. So like Segrain might have precisely decided to precisely and the fairy tale tales, especially like the fairy tale tales might have always had like their whole nature of like always catching the attention of like the council. Like I'm preferring Segrain might have totally decided to like straight away initially itself target like the fairy tale tales. So like I'm preferring Segrain might have potentially like Segrain wanted to like take the life of all the masters. Like Segrain back then might have specially targeted like fairy tale tales and back then like the master of like, the fairy tale tales might have been precisely not Macro but precisely Guru. Exactly my particular impression. So precisely Segrain, with like extreme villainous nature might have precisely decided to like precisely abduct Uru's own daughter and turn Uru's own daughter to basically be his like and basically abduct her and basically Segrain might have totally then used his like magic that he might have like learned from like the like great library in like one of the books in like the great library in Sarah. Like he might have done this like human controlling magic, like or like mind controlling magic. Using it, like he might have simply controlled, like abducted and then controlled like his own daughter. Definitely, my person to remember. And like the Grey might have done that. The processing then to like make her his counterpart to basically so that like he would like he might have realized he might have felt that basically he would totally need not a counterpart but like someone like absolutely constantly help him and do everything for him to basically pave the path for like Segrain to basically make it all the way into like achieving Segrain's goal. Someone who is even ready to like sacrifice their life. So in order for that such Segrain to have such a person like have such a person or such a such found like Segrain might have totally decided to perfectly use like take advantage of like the mind controlling or like the human controlling magic and Segrain might have perfectly controlled Uro's daughter. And even to the present day, like while Uro's daughter like basically it's like and Segrain might have also decided that like in order for Uro's daughter after like Segrain might have mind controlled Uro's daughter like in order for her to be able to like actually properly help uh, Segrain out with like all sorts of like Segrain, like villainism, like secret villainism, like she would have to reach like the position of like being like a council member. So certainly not to do that, like Segrain might have totally might kept on mind controlling her and basically Segrain might have totally played some sort of like exactly like South Segrain might have only cheated and tricked way into making it to like the position as one of like the council members. Like Segrain might have done repeat of that by precisely doing the same thing, just like Uro's daughter and like basically that may be how like Uro's daughter as well usually ended up being like the one another council member. So like like the like Uro's daughter becoming like making it all the way to like being like a council member. Like Ray had like absolute pound that he could like totally use accordingly to basically help him out with like villainous goal, and that might be the precise reason for like even to like the present day members supporting like precisely Uro's daughter, even while being like one of like the council members, would definitely not be a villanistic character at all. Will be genuinely a good and kind character exactly like Uro, but like she might be totally under like the spell of like the mind control or like the human control spell of like Segrain. This is definitely my personal version. Might be like the sole reason for her like basically loyally like obeying and basically even while she is also like a council member for her to like call Segrain like Segrain Sama. Precisely because of this is definitely my personal impression. So like my personal impression that like basically Segrain might be like the only villain in like among like the council members. It's definitely my personal impression. Segrain might not only even like the Essen world attack using like the lullaby flute and everything might be precisely according to like Segrain's like plan, secret villain stick plan. It's definitely my personal impression. So Segrain might be like the precise villain that might have even made like secret connections with like the dark fields and Zerf, and that might be precisely how Segrain was able to like precisely like by the connection like Segrain was precisely being able to like even precisely help like the Essen World Guild through his like connection with the and everything like basically with like the Essen World Guild as well like being able to like exactly like how like precisely the sort of Uru currently have access to the time of match which is like a part of like the lost match like precisely for like a small task guild like an Essen World Guild for them to be able to like access like and the set of like a lost magic like the lullaby magic or like the lullaby flow like basically would be exactly like would be all connected. It's definitely my birth generation. So like basically the attack of like the symbol did to like the take the life of all the masters might have been precisely uh done accordingly to Segrain like secret villainous plan. It's definitely my birth generation. So like it doesn't take up the impression for like for it to be only in like the very distant future, but then totally prepping for like an actual versus Segrain one versus one fight. So definitely my within the impression. And for little as for like the scenario like how that will be happening and for eventually in like the distant future like both and both the definitely with like Rete asking like what has he achieved in like guild like basically with like Rete making interesting like guild right now in like the present time, but I think definitely a rate would be eventually joining and becoming a part of like a guild. And I think it could be either eventually ending up to with like a rate joining the very same fairy tale guild along with Grey and all of them, like more like other hoping for like a rate to like join some other guild. Anyway, like I'm just like in like the very distant future, I'm just think most likely for both Grey as well as a rate to like find out together about like basically considering electricity or like considering that these two regardless of whether rate is in like the same guild ends up being in like the same guild as Gray or like ends up being in like a different guild and considering like the distance is definitely for rate as well as Gray to like find out together about like precisely Guru's thought of being alive and basically like about like Segrain, how about like Segrain will like the ultimate villain and that like Segrain is like the precise person that's like totally controlling Guru's thought like definitely my person very impressionate. Especially it's like both Rete as well as Grey would be well aware that basically Guru's daughter was only a child when Guru had lost her daughter. Like basically it would be obvious for them that basically it's all precisely Segrain's doing that basically by then like they would be like having like getting more kinds as well like segments like villain so like I'm preferring by then like I'm preferring them to like shortly it being obvious to them that basically Uro's daughter might definitely be under like some sort of mind controlling spell or like triggering that like so like I'm preferring in order to save Uro's daughter and preferring precisely Rate as well as Graham was preferring of like initially them they would be like totally extremely enraged and emotionally enraged towards like Segrain. And basically, because like of like the extreme veganism that Segrain did of basically using like Oro's mind controlling and using Oro's own daughters to like take Oro's life. So like that would be like too much for like both Grey as well as like Rete to handle. So like I'm just preferring most of in like the distant future like Rete as well as Grey on finding that out like Rete and Grey in like the distant future together heading off ahead to like precisely fight Wesley Segrain, and in that fight, like I'm suffering, even though it was really like extremely enraged and emotional fight, like I'm suffering, like Segrain to be so extremely awkward that Wesley both Rete as well as Grey losing to Segrain is like the scenario that I'm suffering, and at that point would be and as like at that point, Segrain will be about to take. Maybe both Grey as well as Rede's life, or like I'm suffering, Segrain will be about to take either one of their life, but like at that last second, I'm suffering now so will be like showing up as like the savior and then I'm also putting like a figurine was like now so fight in which like I'm also putting it to be like a heavy extremely intense fight in which like initially even though now so like she's just struggling against like figurine I'm also eventually like now so totally getting revenge for like the villain of Segrain in the place of like Uru as well as like Grey as well as the Rete. And even for like Uru's daughter like as well like basically Natsu getting the revenge for all of them in all of their place like basically Natsu getting a revenge uh, by like totally awkward and defeating and possibly maybe like a Natsu might even take the life of like Segrain is also like the scenario that I'm delivering. And like the moment like Natsu will be like number three, either it will be like the point when like the Natsu will be like starting to like offer and landing serious injuries to like Segrain that I'm delivering, maybe like Oro's daughter at that point would be present most likely right there, like, and Oro's daughter as well would be like totally will be even then controlled by Segrain, and Oro's daughter as well would be like totally attacking, most likely attacking Gray as well as like that is also like the scenario. While they will be going up to like attack the brain is also the scenario that I'm different. So since like it's like Kuro's daughter, and since even though like Gray as well as Rete will be like fully aware that she's being controlled by Segrain, like still even while they will be trying to attack Segrain, and considering like Segrain would be totally ensuring to like basically keep like Kuro's daughter for in the front and basically make her fight like basically Gray as well as Rete. And about the thing by then like Gray and Rete might have like trained hard and reach like way superior levels of strength certainly by considering, but still they won't be able to like do anything against like Segrain precisely because of Segrain using his strategy to protect by basically keeping like his daughter to like basically fight like the two of them like both Segrain and both like Rete as well as Gray. So like just because it's like Kuro's daughter like Gray, and that would be like the biggest disadvantages of like a situation for like Gray and Rete, which would eventually be totally resulting in like them totally being defeated and possibly even about to have their life taken, maybe even by Uru's daughter. It's also like a scenario that I'm considering. So at that last second, Natsu showing up, and Natsu like then about the thing like maybe like by Gray as well as like Rete would simply wouldn't be able to like at all bring themselves to be able to like attack or fight back against like Kuro's daughter, and considering Natsu might simply don't care at all, and then considering Natsu maybe like due to some sort of like a powerful attack might injure and like Kuro's daughter, and like she might fall unconscious if like maybe like a scenario that I'm delivering, and then about delivering like it would be like an extremely enraged Natsu versus like a Segarin fight in which like delivering Natsu usually or for an beating, and most likely even definitely taking the life of Segarin is like the scenario that I'm delivering. And it will be once like Segarin will be dying that I'm delivering most likely for Uru's daughter would be finally freed from her mind controlling, most likely mind controlling spell of like Segarin. And at that point, I was reflecting like finally like Gray as well as like Gray as well as Rete, like I'm considering at that point for like Kororu's daughter, like once she will be waking up like her like realizing everything she had done, and basically especially like and about her mother's death and everything being caused by her and all that. But I'm also reflecting like definitely Gray as well as like Rete telling her how great her mother was, and that basically they understand that her late mother as well, or as well, you probably understand that it wasn't her, but it was all Segrain that was like the reason for everything she did and all that. So basically, like a fateful like meeting or like a union like happening like in like the very distant future, finally between like Rete, Gray as well as like Uru's daughter, like I'm also living, and I'm also putting like during that time I'm also putting like probably for Rete as well as Gray being most likely being able to like see Uru's like spirit in like the sky, like being so proud of like two pupils and all that is like a scenario that I'm going to protect for like the very distant future. Okay, so like basically my program version right now is like to stop even telling Segarin that and to basically proceed to like the next step and what's the thing. So like they only have achieved like step one, and step one might have been to like initially that step one might have been to like the steel like the precise moon magic as well as like they might have hoped like using like the moon magic they would be able to like control the Jora, but like the past about like controlling the Jora might have totally failed. Still, since like the more magic would be like an extremely valuable magic that basically it will be precisely out of like the joy of like precisely the lot of Guru like being able to like succeed in like stealing the more magic at least like maybe it might be the reason for like her being able to uh, that might be the reason for like her possibly being able to deciding to like basically absorb the villages of Galuna Island back state like normal proper state that remembers into members. So like I'm preparing like maybe like the moon magic like in order to like steal and obtain like the moon magic in its like absolute purity and intensity like I'm also something like maybe like a lot of like purple moon rays might have need to like fall into like the moon temple in order for like the moon magic to reach like absolute potential. So like I'm considering so my total references were like it might have been precisely like as like 3 years past and as like Delora was about to be resurrected. Might have been precisely around that time that finally like the moon might have reached like maximum potential. So I'm considering it might be precisely that like that so like I'm considering precisely by the time like Uru's daughter left the Luna Island, she might have precisely stolen like the precise moon magic with which might have back by then like only by then might have reached like absolute still protection. So like even though like Uru's daughter was able to control Fedora, she might have still felt that basically the 3 year effort had in fact changed to like fruition. So it might have been precisely out of that joy that she might have decided to go like the village of in like Galuna Island back to its like proper self-sustainably my personal empathy, especially and also my personal aspiration as for like the precise reason for like someone so higher up in like the someone like a council member like a Segrain being like so extremely curious and interested specifically towards like Nasu. Right now, but it would only have to do with like Segrain having fought against like Nasu's father in like the distant past. It's definitely my personal ambition. So like I'm personally precisely according to like Segrain's like villanism might be precisely how like Segrain might have totally mind control precisely like precisely Euro's daughter and basically Euro's daughter might not only use her transformation magic to transform as precisely Natsu's father while releasing Deliora initially and Deliora answering to attack like Drago and all that happening like back then I'm so like my personal research that it might be according to like Segrain's like wishes and orders that basically like Uruk dot might have precisely used the transformation magic to like precise back then to like precisely transform each and every single time like she would be mainly like most of the time she would be precisely ensuring to transform as like Nazu's father while according to like Segrain's orders like she would be performing all sorts of villainism. It's definitely my personal impression. Precisely because like Segrain would have that much of a correct and Team Disaster gets revenge and takes the life of Nasser's father. It's definitely my personal impression. So, and that is really reflected because of like Severin having fought against like Nasser's father in like the very distant past. And considering that fight, like, and Nasser's father as well might have been perfectly trained by engineer and like might have had like the similar kind of powers as theory powers as Nasser. It's definitely my personal impression. But like it will be a whole lot way superiorly stronger than like the current level of strength not only having this will be the precise reason for like especially the Segrain even being so concerned about like Nasu. So it's definitely my personal remembrance. So like if that fight in like the distant past, like maybe like I'm something like Segrain might have been badly injured by like the power of like Nasu's power. It's also definitely my personal remembrance. And I'm still checking my personal remembrances that basically it might have been precisely due to like since then like Segrain maybe like constantly targeting like Nasu's father might have been like the reason for like maybe Nasu's father even secretly leaving Nasu with Tigril so that like precisely like Nasu's father might have maybe like thought that basically of like the in like the future like at some point like basically Segrain actually making it finding and capturing like Nasu's father at some point. And so like at that point for Nasu to not get into any danger of trouble would be the preparation for Nasu's father leaving Nasu with like Vinilius definitely doesn't share any So like I'm just preparing like even though Segaran might be even to the person they might be friendly to something for like Nasu's father to get his revenge. I'm just preparing he might have not been able to find it. So like I'm just preparing also like definitely the Indian question that like to create the dragon that they made now those that so desperately searching for like someone the dragon that is in so much that they might even see as like his family that basically Ignain might have already died and so it might have been precisely Secretary that might have taken the life of Ignain Neil the dragon is also a schema taking the direction while at the same time they can considering Nasu's father still would be like totally actual true father that will be like missing if that name was and the brain would desperately want to find Nasu's father and get revenge on Nasu's father. That's definitely my personal impression. So like my personal impression right now I feel like figuring so desperately so totally wanting that and enjoying like Natsu getting stronger and wanting like Natsu to get even more stronger would be maybe precisely for like it being necessary for Segrain screen that under different Segrain might be not be planning according to the screen that Segrain might have multiple screen and one of the ultimate dream and goal will be to like basically get fully get revenge on like Nazu's father Ignite. And that's like how exactly Segrain might be planning on getting a revenge on Nazu's father might be precisely in a similar fashion as to like how exactly the grain might have precisely mind control for his daughter into like eventually making her take Uro's her own mother to Uro's like about the precisely the grain might have similar plans for Natsu as well. And this might be the reason for like Segrain wanting Natsu to like get a whole lot stronger precisely because like once like Segrain feels like Natsu is like strong enough to basically fight off against like Natsu's father Ignil like and I'm considering Segrain might be only hope that by then like Segrain would be able to precisely crash down and find like the whereabouts of like Ignil, Natsu's father. So like then the different Segrain might be totally planning on like doing like the very same thing by like exactly like how Segrain control like Uros might not only control like Uros thought Segrain might be also planning on like getting now to a strong getting like now to be like seriously stronger so that like Segrain at that point we're only planning on controlling Natsu and using Natsu to like fight off against like Natsu's own father like Ignil and that way to use Natsu to basically take the life of Ignil and basically that way give Natsu's father Ignil an extremely suffering death. This might be like the plan of like and one of the grains of the grain as well. It's also definitely my pyramid. Either this or like maybe about the predictions like the grains would be like well and fully aware of how exceptionally strong Ignil and not father Ignil was when like in the Simba when the grain might have fought against like Ignil and completed all the things especially because of that like I'm considering Segway might be totally seeing like we well aware of like extreme potential lying within like Nasu, like the son of beginning. So that maybe like that's the reason for like the Korean wanting Nasu to get stronger for to bring to for like the Korean bring to the like maybe to like eventually get Nasu as strong as possible so that like eventually the Korean might be that not only at that point would be planning on like using his like mind control magic to like control Nasu as turn Nasu to like Korean's like a low enhancement and basically so that like the strength of Natsu will be like probably coming in handy for Segrain to achieve the like villainous goals and like to destroy anyone who would like be standing in the way. This might also be like to turn Natsu into like eventually into like a loyal henchman of like Segrain might also be like a personal loyal henchman would be also like maybe like a plan of Segrain as well. But like another possibility that I'm looking is also becoming a member of Segrain. So like I'm also definitely in the direction right now as for like Absa being like all of a sudden like being like totally extremely kind and gentle by the time like the Galuna Island mission was over. I'm also referring to this precisely as a strict to precisely trick like now to Lucy and all of them to like basically them totally into that way getting them to like to come to Magnolia to like to, in order to get the and to precisely for example to Magnolia to get the fairy tales guild base to precisely master macros so that like finally after to like get them to master macro and that way get master so that like master macro could like deliver his like punishment to like the Natsu and Group. Like this would be like the best plan of a so like even if like the person that like totally gentle with like and Natsu and Crew like definitely Natsu would be remembered where like the moment Natsu and Crew would be like along with Asla would be entering like the fairy tale guild base like I'm going to only something precisely Asla totally blocking it like quickly like blocking like the door behind them and basically like instantly as well as like character changing and Artha totally being like extremely serious like and basically like straight away telling Mataro that basically I have brought them and basically it's like basically like now you can deliver your punishment and also very Artha totally to have that character shift and change from showing from pleasant and peaceful to like and smiling to like extremely serious in an instant like the instant like the Natsu Lucy and happy and Gray would be like entering like the fairy tale guild based like the scenario that I'm literally putting and my position and at that point like Master Macro as well would be like staring at like all of them with like that extreme serious face, like the scenario that I'm just putting I'm not going to remember. So like the not going to remember for like that punishment that Master Macro most likely deliver that punishment that like Gray and Naruto and all of them are totally afraid of like and also trying to be most likely but the trying to still pick them about the project to be most likely like the cleaning like of like the entirety of like the fair till face every single day for like a whole month. Like that's what I probably putting as to like what's great and so will be like only fearful about that punishment. It's certainly never to be able to show.